your American dream?
A level of compassion. Like, I would love to see, like, you know how they used to do those Scared Straight programs for like juvenile kids? I would love to see like conservatives put into like the journey or trek of an immigrant. Like, say somebody in a caravan in Mexico. I would love to see that. Like, I would love it, because I'm just like, I feel like that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the face-to-face conversation.
Yes.
Because that's the issue, is like when you are too far removed from it,
Right.
It makes it very easy to just, compassion.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, March 15th. My name is Brad Bernstein. This is Brad Show Live. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, the very handsome Yonathan Elias. Hey. I'm also joined, Yonathan.
Yes.
By our entire squad.
The beautiful squad. We love them.
And I want you to know it is a lot of the same people every day, and we recognize that, and we appreciate all of our loyal squaddies.
Absolutely.
Let's say hello to them. Dip Fab Cake Affair, squad up, how are you? Josephine Latham, squad up. Sarah Smith, squad up. Carol, the Tiger's watching. Susan Dixon, squad up, how are you? Earth Angel A. Keisha. Wasn't she Earth Angel Keisha? She has now an A in her name.
She has an A in there.
She has added an A. An A Keisha. Earth Angel A. Keisha. Who else we got? Liz Latoya, his forever Peterson. She's always been his forever. Asila Stone, squad up. Dainty Brown, how are you? Stargirl, how are you as well? And on YouTube, why am I not seeing anything on YouTube? What am I doing wrong here, Yo-Yo?
I see them.
What am I doing wrong? I'm not seeing comments. That's odd. I'm doing something wrong here.
I see Earth Angel, Sophie Ferg, Kavar Harris giving thumbs up, Anu Chandra saying, hey, squad up. And Mohammed Danish Sheikh has a question.
I'm going to give you, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here, Yo-Yo. Huh. Something is missing here. People's comments.
Uh-oh.
That's the most important thing.
Right.
Here we are. Now I got it. Now I got it.
Okay.
You know what you have to do?
What?
It's so obvious sometimes.
Click on comments?
Click on like comments. So Earth Angel, Sophie Ferg, squad up. Kristy and me, squad up. Mohammed Sheikh, can I legally get a job on the base of a prima facie determination letter of VAWA? No. You cannot get a job on a prima facie. You can only get government assistance on a prima facie. To get a legal job, you need an EAD, an employment authorization document. You get that by filing an adjustment application and an I-765 form concurrently with your VAWA application. Jessica Leamy, she's double fisting. Asila Stone, I think she's Enots on Facebook, double fisting as well. Samantha Thomas saying hello. And God's Grace.
Yeah.
Should we do two pre-schmooze questions?
Sure, why not?
Why not? God's Grace. Hi, Brad. What happens if I have an interview date back in your country, but your 601A waiver is not approved as yet? You should not have gotten an interview in your country if your 601A waiver was approved. You should not have completed the processing at the National Visa Center. So somebody, somewhere, unfortunately, screwed up. I would contact the U.S. Embassy, ask for it to be rescheduled, and wait on the I-601A provisional waiver. All right, Yo-Yo, take it away.
Absolutely. All right, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you all to please put in all of your questions in the comment section, just like you just read, or you saw us read 2 of the questions. All right, now throw in all of the rest of your questions in the comment section. So when we read for social media check-in, we get your questions, okay? If you do it later on in the show, it's not guaranteed that we'll ask it. And please, please, please share on all social media platforms. That's YouTube, Facebook, send it as a text text message, send it any way you can, because we need to help people, all right? The only way we can get the show out is through you. All right, we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to fill us in on the latest news, like how Title 42 made recent headlines after a Ukrainian refugee and her 3 children were turned away at the U.S.-Mexico border under the controversial public health order. And today is Tuesday, so we're going to sip on some tea about stories of the rich and famous, including a look at some of the outrageous mansions and estates owned by some of the sanctioned Russian billionaires.
Yes. Very nice estates.
Yes, very nice.
Very nice estates.
Yeah.
But now they may not be owning them anymore.
Woo!
And of course,
Yikes.
you can call Spar and Bernstein 1-800-529-5465 internationally, +1 212-227-8933. When I say call Spar and Bernstein is the sponsor of Brad Show Live. I am the president. But you can also call Spar and Bernstein to get on our show right now, speak to me live, and ask me your immigration question. We only have a few lines open still, so if you call right now, you will get on our show. If you wait about 20 minutes, can't promise you that you'll get on. 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's +1 212-227-8933. The number will be where, Yo-Yo? It will be scrolling on the bottom of your screen the entire show for the full 2 hours of Brad and Yo-Yo. And later in the show, Yonathan's going to speak with Kristy Guevara-Flanagan and Maite Zubiaurre, co-directors, writers, and producers of the award-winning short film Águilas, which means eagles in English, and follows a group of volunteers who help families of missing migrants search for their loved ones at the U.S. southern border. Pretty interesting.
Yep.
All right, you ready to start schmoozing?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Oy vey.
Oy vey. We're schmoozing. Oy vey.
When you did this,
The whole thing was shaking. I have in my hand, ladies and gentlemen, basically the equivalent of a cement block of the top news stories.
You guys
of the
remember
day.
encyclopedias?
An encyclopedia, a Bible of news today. By the way, today is National Equal Pay Day, Yo-Yo.
Ah.
Yes, we've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's on March 15th every year, and we are trying to bring awareness to the disparity in pay between men and women in the workforce.
Yes.
There's actually different equal pay days for different ethnic groups as well. There's Black Women's Equal Pay Day, which is on September 21st.
Oh, my
Native
dad's
Women's
birthday.
Equal Pay Day is December 1st. And Latina's Equal Pay Day is on December 8th. In 1963, the Equal Pay Act made it illegal for men and women to get paid differently. But here we are in 2022. The U.S. women's national soccer team had to sue to get equal pay
Yep.
for the same work they do as men, and they actually win and the men lose.
Mm-hmm.
And as a matter of fact, overall, nationally, we talk about this every year on National Equal Pay Day, women get paid 83 cents for every dollar a man earns doing the same exact job on average. It's worse for Black women, Indigenous American women, and women of color. Black women earn 58 cents for every dollar a white male earns doing the same job. Native American women make 50 cents. Hispanic and Latino women earn 49 cents for every dollar a man makes. Now, Equal Pay Day first started in 1996. The act was 1963, but we started bringing attention in 1996. I have to say, we bring attention every year, but the pay disparity doesn't get any better.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
you know, we're not seeing.
how do we have a whole day or days?
We're not seeing that. You know, there's a line here and a line here. It should be getting smaller.
Yeah.
It should be equal, but at least you want to see it going in the right direction.
That's why I'd be wondering what these days are for. Like,
Well,
we're bringing awareness
bring
to
awareness,
it,
but
what is that doing? I don't see a change.
Well, you know what? I think the first step to change is know that there's a problem. Okay, so
I think we've known since 1963.
Well, yes, we've known since 1963. Listen, we've known about civil rights since
Yeah.
1963.
Yeah.
We've known about racism. We've known about anti-Semitism. We've known about a lot of things for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, sometimes.
Like, look at them back then.
So what do you think? You should, I
protesting.
mean, what are you going to say? No, I won't bring awareness. I won't do anything. Of course, you got to do something.
No,
Right?
I think we got to go a little harder. A little
right.
harder in the paint.
And by the way, Congress renewed this past Thursday the Violence Against Women Act, the VAWA Act. It's renewed through 2027. So all of the programs under VAWA are fully funded, including all the immigration programs. It also includes new provisions like expanded access to forensic exams for victims of sexual assault in rural communities, new grants for community-specific services for LGBTQ survivors of domestic violence, and new jurisdiction to tribal courts to go after non-native perpetrators of sexual assault, child abuse, stalking, sex trafficking, and assaults. All of this expanded protections for Native American women are particularly notable, given the high rates of domestic violence and sexual assault that Indigenous women face on reservations by non-native men. More than 84%. 84%. That's almost everybody.
What's the 84%?
More than 84% of Indigenous women experience violence in their lifetime.
Wow.
And a vast majority of Native victims of violence, 96% of them are women, are victimized by non-Native American people. So it is Native American women living on reservations being some form of violence perpetrated against them by non-Native American, not even people from their
Wow.
same tribe or
Yeah.
same area. 96% are from non-Native American, and 84% of Indigenous women living in the United States have some form of violence
Sheesh.
perpetrated against them. That is a lot.
Yeah.
And Russia, they attacked yesterday, they attacked the western portion of Ukraine. It was a military base that is about 25 miles from the Polish border. They attacked it by airplanes that sent long-range missiles from the Black Sea.
Whoa.
Three things of importance for that. Number one, Russia said they were going to start attacking the convoys of military equipment coming across the border from Poland, Romania, and Slovakia and the rest of Europe. So this is what they were doing. More than 35 people died. Some of them
Jeez.
were non-Ukrainians who were coming to help the Ukrainian cause. The other thing of note for this is number two, Ukraine and many people around the world are demanding a no-fly zone to be put up by NATO to prevent these missile attacks
Right.
from Russia like this. However, this would not, a no-fly zone would not have prevented all of this. There was 135 people injured, 35 people dead, would not have prevented this because these missiles were shot off from international airspace. So whether you had a no-fly zone or not, this would have happened no matter what. And the other concern is that Russia struck within 20 miles of the Polish border. That's like,
20
that's
miles.
like,
not even far.
That's like the Nassau-Queens border to Manhattan.
Yeah.
To Midtown Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay? And those missiles were shot off from over the Black Sea really far away. Those missiles went off course by even 20 miles and hit Poland. We were in World War III.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yeah.
The other thing going on is that there's a lot of cities that are under Russian control now or being bombarded by Russia. People can't get out. Russia is claiming in their news that the Ukrainians are not allowing the Ukrainian people to leave those cities to get to safety in order to cause a humanitarian crisis. Ukraine is saying Russia is bombing the hell out of us.
Right.
We can't leave our homes. and they can't seem to even agree to stop bombing for even a few minutes to allow people
To leave.
to leave.
Wow.
Meanwhile, 2.8 million people who have been able to get out, mostly women and children. UN Refugee Agency Commissioner Filippo Grandi said Sunday the amount of people on the move following Russia's invasion of Ukraine constitutes the fastest growing refugee crisis in Europe since World War II.
Wow.
It is reminiscent of the 2015 migrant crisis spurred by the war in Syria, but that was 1 million asylum seekers who came from Syria. We are almost triple that in less than 3 weeks of war. 2.8 million people crossing the border. Grandi told French radio station France Inter the sheer number of people fleeing for safety is a terrifying figure. And while many refugees going to other countries have family ties, what we fear is a second wave of persons who have a good deal less resources and connections and who will be much more vulnerable. Most of those fleeing Ukraine are women and children. As I said, the men cannot leave. The men
18 to 60.
18 to 60 are banned from leaving because they are needed for the war effort. Nations directly to the west and south of Ukraine have accepted large numbers of refugees. Moldova has 278,000 Ukrainians. The concern is that Russia can attack Moldova because Moldova is not part of the NATO alliance. Mm-hmm. The other concern that's happening besides the sheer amount of refugees is that there's a lot of reports that some women and children are going missing.
Whoa.
Because they cross over the border, they don't have cars, they don't have transportation, and there are people there who are waiting to help them. Mm-hmm. And obviously most people are very good. But there are reports that there are women and children who get into cars.
Oh man! So what are they? Human
cross the
trafficking?
border? Yeah.
Wow.
As they cross the border, for people who are there presumably to help them, and some of these women and children have not been heard from since.
Jeez.
And the concern is, yes, human trafficking. So according to Constanta Dohartu, a Moldovan activist heavily involved in civilian efforts to provide aid, said there are fears those caught up in the mass departure of Ukraine have become targets of human traffickers. At the border, I'm quoting Constanta, at the border, some women are really afraid to get into cars, which is why now our volunteers are wearing vests to help identify themselves, she said. And efforts are underway toward official identification for drivers to show they've been vetted by the government and are offering safe transportation.
Yeah, they definitely need that.
Yes.
Something to make sure they know they're legit.
Right. And on Wednesday, a 34-year-old Ukrainian refugee and her 3 children aged 14, 12, and 6, they were turned away at the border in Mexico. They were able to cross the border from Ukraine to one of the other Eastern European countries. They couldn't get a visa to come to the United States. They flew to Mexico. And from Mexico, they made it up to the border to try to be with their family in the United States of America, because that's the only other place they knew that they had people to go to. Mm-hmm. They were turned away at the border under Title 42, which is left over from the Trump administration. We've talked about it
a
lot, which is anybody coming to the border who's applying for asylum, they can't come in because of COVID. Yet, we have no mask mandates.
Right.
And only 2% of the United States has moderate or severe levels of COVID at the present time. Eventually, I'm happy to say they got in, but at the same time, how is that fair to everybody else?
Yeah, that
who
are
can't
like,
get
yeah.
in? So that's what people are saying. Yes, it's nice they got in and they deserve to get in. Nobody says they don't. But what about the rest of us?
So did they let them in, do you think, because of the press?
They let them in because of the press
of
and
that one family.
Of that one family, yeah. But yes, I mean, quite frankly, they were escaping for their lives from the Ukraine. They got nowhere to go.
But I feel like most of,
but
not
everybody
all of those asylum seekers are.
It's time to let go of Title 42, except, this is my opinion, Biden does it, he loses the midterm election. And the reason why, if he does it, he loses the midterm election. Think about what Fox News and Republicans would be saying. Title 42 is over. Now you can come and apply for asylum, into the United States and await for your hearing here in the United States of America. What would everybody say? Biden opened up the border to everybody. They're all pouring in. Everybody's pouring in. You can imagine Trump. They're all pouring in.
Right.
You know, the rapists, the murderers, and nobody fully understands what's going on there.
He literally just set him up.
Right. So it would be a complete setup by, you know, if Biden, which he should do,
so then
on a fairness level and also on a humanitarian level, absolutely should end Title 42. I don't think there's anybody who fully understands the situation there who says Title 42 is a good idea. But I could only imagine, you know, now you start allowing asylum seekers into the United States and are waiting on their court hearings, which the courts are backed up for years, so they may not see a judge for a year or two, rather than sitting in tent city in the border or not being allowed in at all. You can imagine what's going to happen on Fox News.
Yeah.
Right?
They're going to have a field day.
They have a field day with that. And the Biden administration is weighing expedited processing of some Ukrainians to come into the United States of America. I don't know what that expedited processing is. I doubt that any Ukrainian at this point in time who's fleeing the war would be eligible for a visitor's visa if they don't have a visitor's visa already in their passport. The reason being, to get a visitor's visa, we talk about this all the time. What do you need? You need to be able to prove you're going to return to your home country. There is nobody who would ever believe you as a Ukrainian would be applying for a visitor's visa and returning to Ukraine to go to war-torn Ukraine. So getting a visitor's visa to the United States for a Ukrainian is a no-go. There is no other program per se for Ukrainians now. So most Ukrainians are in Europe. They haven't really made it to the United States. That's why this one couple went to Mexico and tried to come in across the border. Ultimately, there is programs. It's humanitarian parole. So a Ukrainian conceivably would be able to go into a U.S. embassy, apply for humanitarian parole, that they're living on the street wherever they may be at the present time in this third country. They can't go back to Ukraine, to their home country, and they have some sort of affidavit of support from somebody here in the United States. That's conceivable. Haven't seen them do it yet, but that's conceivable. So we're waiting to see what Biden's going to do with all of, you know, expediting refugee requests. I don't know what that really means. Meanwhile, the prime ministers of Poland, Czech Republic, and Slovenia, they took a train from Poland to Kiev today in the middle of a war zone. You had 3 leaders of 3 countries, and they went to see Zelensky in Kiev. Okay, so that shows 2 things. Shows, number one, that Europe is really backing Ukraine and more united than ever against Russia. When you have 3 non-combatant presidents from neighboring countries coming to visit the Ukrainian president.
That's bold.
And what it also shows is that Ukraine's pretty confident that although Russia's bombing the hell out of them, they're not taking Kiev so fast, that they can protect Kiev. Because if they weren't able to protect Kiev, these 3 presidents wouldn't have been there in the first place.
That's true.
And in a bit of sad news for Joe Biden, he's been sanctioned by Russia, along with Jen Psaki, his press secretary, Hillary Clinton, CIA Director William Burns, even Hunter, sanctioned. They can't go visit Russia. Not that they really wanted to. Not that they would want to. There's no other way to sanction them because they don't have any money in Russia. They don't have any assets in Russia. So all Russia can do is say, I'm sanctioning you. You're not allowed to come. Not that I think President Biden was jumping on a plane to go be a tourist in Red Square. The funny thing about it all, is that Joe Biden is actually a junior. So when Russia sanctioned Joe Biden, they didn't say, we sanctioned President Joe Biden Jr., which is his real name.
Oh, so
They
that's
just-
the senior.
That's the senior. They sanctioned his dead father. So at the press conference, Jen Psaki said that Joe Biden's father would be sad to hear he's dead, that he has been sanctioned.
That is hilarious.
But Joe Biden's name is Joe Biden Jr. Apparently, he's still able to go.
Yeah, I still don't think he's going
right.
to take that trip.
That's right. And sadly, some news reporters died in Ukraine. Did you see
Yeah,
that?
I did.
Brent Renaud, an award-winning U.S. filmmaker whose work has appeared in the New York Times and other outlets. He was killed on Sunday by Russian forces. He was 51 years old. He was a reporter for the PBS NewsHour. He just was left on the roadside spot and just was left there to die. No, couldn't be saved. He was shot by Russian military.
Yeah, I saw he was with another. He was with another
another
reporter or something.
reporter who also got shot.
He
but
got
he
shot.
lived.
He lived. He was speaking while they were like,
Correct.
While
they were starting shooting.
Yeah.
And also yesterday, a Fox News cameraman and a Ukrainian journalist. He was an American, and the Ukrainian journalist, the cameraman, was Pierre Zarzweski. He also got killed. And unfortunately, he lost his life as well, reporting. You know, it's got to, being a war reporter is
that's wild.
Is a really dangerous.
Yeah.
It's got to be as dangerous a job. It's got to be as dangerous a job as there is out there. So I really put my hats off to any. When you see any reporter in whether they're in Lvov,
doesn't matter where.
It doesn't matter where they are. You see a reporter reporting from Ukraine, you got to give your hats off to these people.
Yeah.
They are they're in a war zone, literally risking their life to bring witness to tell the truth of what's going on.
Yeah.
Because if they weren't there, it would be left to whatever Russia tells us is going on. So, you know, my hat's off to them. And of course, Russia took over 2 cities in eastern Ukraine. And what did they do? They kidnapped the mayors. The mayors of each of these cities have not been heard from.
Oh, gosh.
And the Russians put in their own mayors. Ukrainian officials are claiming that the Russian forces abducted at least 2 of the mayors. They installed their pro-Russian replacements. Ukraine Foreign Minister Dmitry Kuleba accused Russian forces of abducting Yevhen Mateyev from the southern city, I can't pronounce these cities' names, Dniprodny. And this was after the mayor, Ivan Fedorov of Melitopol, was also kidnapped. And these are guys, basically. These are low-level guys. This is just the mayor of the, local town.
Right.
Okay, they didn't sign up to be kidnapped.
Wow.
And Instagram is going to cease at midnight. Was supposed to cease at midnight on Sunday or begin. Some people, I've spoken to some people in Russia. Some people don't have Instagram anymore. Nobody has Facebook anymore.
Wow.
Some people still have Instagram, but I assume that over the next couple of days, there will be no more Instagram, no more Facebook, and most likely at some point no more WhatsApp, because it's all owned by Meta, which is Facebook. So Instagram users in Russia, they were notified that their services are going to be cut off. An email message from the state communications regulator in Russia told users to move their photos and videos from Instagram before it was shut down. Meta said Friday that the temporary change in its hate speech policy applied only to Ukraine in the wake of Russia's February 24th invasion. The company said it would be wrong to prevent Ukrainians from expressing their resistance and fury at the invading military forces. So the decision was met by outrage with Russia, where authorities have opened a criminal investigation against Meta and Facebook. Prosecutors on Friday asked the court to designate the U.S. tech giant an extremist organization because they were allowing Ukrainians to produce material and whether it's Instagram photos or Facebook posts about the war and their opinion of the war, yet they were censoring Russia's opinions and posts, and with the thought that Ukrainians are telling the truth and Russia's all propaganda.
Right.
And Russia says, well, if you don't allow us to tell our side of the story, then we're just going to shut you down.
There'll be a lot of mad people.
Yes. So, and by the way, you know, it's all going to come down to China. I've said it before. This entire war comes down to China. China is the only country in the world who has the ability to stop this war.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. It's not the United States. It's not Europe. It's not Ukraine. It's not Russia. It's China. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. But the United States warned China after intense talks on Monday, March 14th, not to help Russia in its invasion of Ukraine. The United States has warned European allies that Russia asked China for armed drones in late February as it was beginning the invasion. Moscow has not captured any of the 10 biggest cities in Ukraine. They captured some small ones, but none of the biggest ones. Russia thought they were going to knock over Ukraine in a couple of days.
Right.
They thought this was going to be Poland in World War II. You know, where Poland was run over by Germany in a couple of days. But so far, Ukraine has held strong on their 10 largest cities. So, and of course, with the sanctions by the United States and Europe, it's really hurting. Russia and Russians. You know, there's products are not on the shelf. Russia is about to default on their foreign debt. The ruble is almost worthless. The stock market has not opened because if it does open, all of their stocks are worthless. All of the oligarchs have been sanctioned, and it is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse for Russia. And at some point, they're going to need to be bailed out.
Right.
And they could only be bailed out by one country, China.
China.
So if China is going to bail out Russia, this is going to be a long, protracted war, and every country in the world is going to take a side. And it's either going to be you're on the side of Russia and China, or you're on the side of U.S. and Europe. That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to be one of those two. Now, China, we've talked about this before. China, the Chinese Communist government, they made a Faustian deal with the Chinese people. Their deal is this. We're a dictatorship. We run everything. We were going to give you economic prosperity to all of the Chinese people. Because think about it, China 30, 40 years ago was a poor country.
Right.
50 years ago. They have 1/4 of the world's population, but they were a poor country. So their deal with the people of China is, we will make you economically an economic powerhouse. We're going to give you economic prosperity. In return, you lose your right to choose your leaders. You lose your right to free speech. You lose your right to freedom of religion. There's right now millions of Muslims who are being tortured in China right now for being a Muslim. You see it in the news all the time, in detention camps.
Right.
So you have no freedom of religion, no freedom of speech. You don't get to choose your leaders. But what you do get is economic prosperity. That's their deal with the Chinese people. And that's what keeps them in power, because the Chinese people are doing well.
Right.
We're now in a situation where Russia is fighting Ukraine. Russia's economy, trading economy with China is about $100 billion. The combined US and European trade with China is $1.5 trillion. If China goes to help Russia, right now, the world is teetering on recession. If China goes to help Russia, now what's going to happen? There's going to be sanctions against China. they lose all. I mean, the U.S. is going to go into recession. Europe will go into recession. China is going to go into recession. The Chinese government has a deal with their people. You allow us to stay in power, we give you economic prosperity. But now all of a sudden there's huge recessions. They're going to have a problem. So now they have to decide, do we help Russia? If they don't help Russia, you know what happens? Russia can't afford to continue the war.
Right.
Because eventually, whether it's in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, they're going to go bankrupt. And the people in Russia are going to start to say, how come we don't have anything on our shelves? How come I can't get on an airplane? Why can't I get anything? I can't even get on Facebook or Instagram. There's going to be, at some point, short term, people could live. Long term, people are going to start getting angry.
Yeah.
So the only way Russia survives is with help from China. Who else is going to help them? North Korea? Who's helping Russia? So the Chinese have the key role to play in all of this. Because they could put pressure on Russia to pull back with their own economic leverage. And then you have at least peace. And then China is not sanctioned by US and Europe, which is their two biggest trading partners. So we'll see what happens. And did you see, by the way, Yo-Yo, there's a lot going on in the news today.
I see.
I mean, we could just go on and on and on here. I just wanted to talk about this. And a rare anti-war protest occurred in Russian One news program on State's TV Channel 1. It's the primary source of news for millions of Russians and closely follows whatever the Kremlin says. And a Russian state television journalist held up a sign in English and Russian that said, "No war, stop the war," in the middle of the TV broadcast, watched by almost everybody in Russia.
Yeah.
The news anchor, she didn't turn around.
I was about to say, she didn't turn around at all.
Because she didn't want to be involved in it.
That's smart.
Because if she turns around, she's going to jail too.
Oh.
This was it. She just made pretend she didn't see it.
Yeah.
Did you see? She's pretending she doesn't see nothing.
She's like, listen, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
So she was found guilty already, and then eventually it was on for a few seconds, and then it got shut off. And by the way, what the sign said in Russian is, "No war, stop the war, don't believe propaganda, they are all lying to you here."
Wow.
That's what it said.
That seemed like death penalty type stuff in Russia.
So she was a brave woman.
Save her.
She was a brave woman.
I like her.
And she was arrested immediately. She has been already found guilty of an unauthorized public event. A district court in Moscow sent a statement that Marina Ovenkova, an editor at Channel 1, has been found guilty and had been fined 30,000 rubles. And the Kremlin described her actions as hooliganism. She was potentially looking at 15 years in jail. And my bet is, if this didn't get out internationally, she would have been in jail.
She probably would have been in jail
forever.
Yeah.
But I think it would be really bad
on Russia's
part to put her in jail with the whole world watching. All right, we have more news, but we'll get to more tomorrow. I just want to say this one other thing. Thank you, Caribbean countries.
Oh, what happened?
Yeah, because several nations in the Caribbean offered citizenship to people from other countries if they would invest either $100,000 or $200,000 in different businesses in those particular countries as a way to gain foreign investment into the Caribbean. But they don't want war money. They don't want dirty money.
Oh, that's good.
Dominica, Antigua, Barbuda, they have all canceled programs for individuals from Russia and Belarus on any investment programs to get either a Dominican or Antiguan passport. They've canceled all of those programs as a result of the invasion of the Ukraine.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So, and St. Lucia as well.
Hey.
Yeah, St. Lucia is no longer going to allow the transfer of any money from Russia to the country's banking system.
Wow.
So good for those countries as well.
That is really good.
All right, let's do some tea. We have some tea somewhere? I think we have tea. I need some tea now.
Yes.
I need some tea.
The tea is here.
We have some tea? I have to.
What kind of tea is it?
By the way, I'm gonna bend down for a second because I dropped my thingamajiggy, but now I got it again.
Well, I got thingamajiggy here. It's oolong Chinese tea.
Yeah.
Oolong Chinese tea. It's very special one for today.
I
I
see.
see.
Since we spoke so much about China,
We have
got Chinese tea.
Well, before we sanction them, we might as well drink their tea, right?
You're right.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank
Jeremy.
you.
Excellent job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Well, cheers. We have Chinese tea. I don't like
Yes,
sugar in my
I
tea.
do.
So I'm going to wait to cheer
Here,
you.
you could cheers me.
Okay. Cheers. Here you
Oh,
go.
it smells like it. It smells like the.
I want you to know I was
Chinese tea.
talking for so long, Yo-Yo. I can take a break to have some tea for a second.
Oh, we have time for a break.
We have
Look.
time for a break, yeah. It's very good. Very good. All right, so what's in our tea news today?
Let's see.
Forbes uncovered at least 68 properties worth a collected $2.8 billion held by 5 targeted Russian oligarchs. Most of the oligarchs, they became rich from stolen money.
Oh,
Okay, so what happened in the 1990s? What happened in the 1990s is when the Soviet Union broke up, they made political deals. It was the wild, wild west. They may have even, it was like, Al Capone time in Russia. They could have even killed their political opponents or business opponents. Why do I keep dropping this? It's unbelievable. I have to bend down for a second, Yo-Yo.
It's all
Excuse
good.
me 1 second. So, I mean, they may. I'm not saying that anybody is a murderer or any of these oligarchs, but there's stories of them, taking care of their enemies.
taking care of.
And when the Soviet Union broke up, they were able to take care of the people they needed to take care of to basically be handed huge Russian industries that were under the communist regime
Wow.
owned by the Russian government that was privatized, in which they gave very little money or anything for them. So they just were granted huge companies that they
Wow.
basically turned around. They used their business acumen, obviously, to
Right.
turn it around. So to me, it's all stolen from the Russian people anyway. Because it wasn't, they were just literally granted huge companies.
Got you.
So they became worth billions and billions and billions of dollars, including Vladimir Putin, who's considered the richest man in the world by some people. Much richer than Elon Musk.
Wow.
Yes. There's a reason why all these Russian oligarchs have planes and yachts all over the world and homes, yet the Russian economy, they take the money right out of the economy. Stolen money. I don't know it for a fact. I can't tell you factually this is how they do it, but to me it's obvious that's how it's done. Because how did all these people get all this money?
Yeah.
So, on March 3rd, the United States and the United Kingdom, they ratcheted up the pressure on the Russian billionaires, reportedly close to Vladimir Putin, and they announced an asset freeze. So let's take a look at some of the assets. Yonathan, do you like any of these houses? Roman Abramovich. Okay, he was sanctioned by the UK, EU, Canada, Australia. He has
Wow.
citizenship in Russia, Israel, and Portugal. So he's got 3 passports. He's got properties in France, St. Bart's, Aspen, Colorado, London, UK, totaling $620 million. The crown jewel is Abramovich's extensive property at 16 Kensington Palace Gardens, which is a 15,
He looks young.
Yeah, he's my age. Which is a
Sheesh.
15-bedroom mansion that neighbors several embassies and the Kensington Palace, a residence of the royal family. That's his house in London.
Mm.
You like
It's
that house?
nice.
It's going to go up for sale for half the price.
For half the price?
I'm sure eventually.
Sheesh.
Andrei Melenchenko, he's sanctioned by the EU and UK. He only has Russian citizenship, but he's got properties in the south of France, Italy, Monaco, New York City, Switzerland, UK. He owns a 4-story mansion in Monaco, a villa built in a former bank. He also owns a villa in the south of France, replete with a home theater, a wine cellar, sauna, and a swimming pool.
Ooh.
That's his house in the south of France.
That looks nice.
That looks nice, right?
Dang.
He also has houses in Italy and Switzerland. You like these houses?
I mean, they're cool. They're not really my
Would
vibe.
you want to live in any of these houses?
No. They're not my vibe. These are giving me kind of like Downton Abbey type of vibe. It looks like they have a bunch of ghosts up in there.
There's another guy, German Khan. He's got citizenship in Russia and Israel. He owns 3 properties in Eaton Square in London, dubbed Red Square for its many wealthy Russian residents. Among his holdings in the area, 2 adjacent apartments, Flat E, which is a 2-story home with 4 bedrooms, a library, a bar, and a garden. You like these homes?
They're not my style.
And meanwhile, another Russian oligarch with a house in London. Did you see this? Oleg Deripaska.
Oh yeah.
His
doing the protests.
His home was sanctioned, and as a result of his home being sanctioned, it was seized by the British government, and a group of British protesters stormed his house and hung a huge sign
I love it.
from the 2nd floor of his home in London. It says, "This property has been liberating," and Putin, go F yourself.
Yeah.
And they all just sat in his house
I like that.
until the British police came and dispersed them.
But they probably didn't get arrested or anything, huh?
No, he has properties valued at $140 million all around Europe. And we talked about the Instagram going down in Russia, and some of the most famous people on Instagram are Russian.
Yeah.
And they are now breaking down in tears after learning Putin is instituting an Instagram ban. Before having their accounts restricted, popular public figures were crying at the news in their final video posts, with one saying, "It felt like her life was being taken away from her." "I am not afraid of admitting that I do not want to lose you," Russian reality TV star Olga Bezova, 36, told her 23.5 million fans. "I do not know what the future holds. I don't know. It feels like a big part of my heart, and my life is being taken away from me." Well, I mean, the reality is, Instagram influencers, I mean, they spend their whole life taking pictures and getting adulation from people who follow. It's all fake adulation.
Yeah,
but
I don't give a damn.
What?
I don't give a damn. There are people out there
I
dying.
understand that, but
So-
from their point of view, their ego is shattered.
Exactly.
Their
So
ego is
you're
shattered.
crying about that? Like, get out of here. It's way too much going on in this world. In Ukraine, they got innocent mothers, sons, daughters, fathers that can't even be with their family. They're dying, and you crying because they're taking away your Instagram followers?
Well, I'll
Get
tell
out
you
of
what
here.
one Russian blogger wrote, "To me, it's all life. It's the soul. It's the one thing with which I wake up, fall asleep 5 effing years in a row." And she was promptly slammed on all of social media, with one critic responding, "Ukrainians are paying with their lives while Russians thought they don't need to pay anything."
Yeah, because you got other people with actual talents and people that study for their careers, like the people the reporters that are out in Ukraine that are risking their lives and actually getting killed. People are actually using their talents and not just posting just to make money. So I don't really care about that.
I saw it, by the way. Yeah, you're probably right. By the way,
Like, look at her. She's crying because she can't post
I
that.
know, but from her perspective.
Her perspective is
let me-
that's how they make their money. So
That's
I
right.
understand
I'm
that. But there's no talent.
I'm going to tell you.
Go out there and
I
get an
understand that.
education.
I'm going to tell you 2 things from their perspective. Okay, one is they don't vote for Putin. They didn't decide to invade Ukraine. This is their entire livelihood. Their entire life is involved around Instagram, and boom, gone.
I think it would have been a little bit more tasteful if in the midst of them crying, they're saying, "Hey, we're praying for the people of Ukraine as well then," or, we don't want this war. They're worried about not being able to see comments about how pretty they look.
We talked about this last night. I kind of agree with you. I was just taking the.
It annoys me. That annoys me.
I agree with you. I was just taking the other side.
I feel you.
Just
I wasn't going to change.
Just for conversation.
Yeah, it just annoys me. That is so annoying.
By the way, we spoke about this yesterday.
Oh.
Tom Brady's last football. It just sold a few days ago at auction. Tom Brady, the Super Bowl champion, 7-time Super Bowl champion, considered the GOAT of the NFL, the greatest of all time, the best football player of all time. At age 45, he retired. at 45, nobody plays to 45 in the NFL, and he's still considered one of the best players in the league. And he decided to give it up because his beautiful wife, Gisele Bundchen, said he should stay home with his children. So
he's like, no.
So he retired. And when he retired, somebody had his last NFL touchdown ball. The last ball he threw for a touchdown. And he said, I'm going to put this thing up for auction.
Yep.
And some sucker bought Tom Brady's last touchdown for $500,000 about a week ago.
Yeah.
And you want to know what happened in 1 week? Tom Brady unretired. And you know what? And you want to know what that football is worth now? It's not worth $500,000 because it's just another touchdown pass.
You know,
it's not his last touchdown
right. You know what? I felt bad for the not bad, but like I felt for the collector at first until I found out that they told him that, you know, you are at risk for him to unretire, and he took that risk. That's just like gambling.
Well, that's buying stock.
Yeah.
That's buying stock.
Yeah. So.
Oh, so I didn't even see that, but it was $518,000. That football is worth
probably like
nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know, $50,000, $25,000, whatever. I mean, I'm not a sports collector, but I can't imagine it's worth as much anymore. That is for sure. And what is? All right, we're gonna have a thing with Kanye now.
Okay. Let's do it.
With Kanye.
Let's do
All
it.
right, with all these text messages, the rapper in a video shared to Instagram on Sunday that Russians can't see anymore. And maybe it's good that they don't see this.
yeah.
He said, at this point, it's going too far. God, please. The boyfriend texts me, antagonizing me, bragging about being in bed with my wife. He's talking about Pete Davidson.
Yes.
Davidson's texts were in response to the videos West posted on his own Instagram earlier Sunday, in which he called out Kim Kardashian, 41, for allowing their 8-year-old daughter North to post videos on TikTok. Comedian Dave Siris, who has worked with Davidson as a guest writer on Saturday Night Live and The King of Staten Island, added fuel to the fire on Sunday by sharing screenshots of the alleged text conversations between Davidson and West via Instagram. Davidson doesn't have social media, and Siris has posted to it on behalf of Davidson before. So, first of all, my take on this is this. Whether you agree that North should be doing TikToks or not, the fact is this couple is now divorced. The child lives with Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian is the custodial mother of North. Because the child lives with Kim, Kim makes the decisions under the law. Kim decides whether or not North can go on TikTok or not. When North is in the custody of Kanye, whether it's during visitation or weekends or whatever their deal is in terms of splitting up the children, at that point, Kanye is the custodial parent, and he decides what North should be doing. That's how it works. Unless, of course, the parents can parent together and make decisions jointly, which obviously they can't. Kanye's remedy is not Instagram for the whole entire world to comment on his 8-year-old child and make it even worse. His remedy is to go to court and either get a court order from a judge to demand that Kim stop this because it's bad for the child, or say, I want custody of this child, I want this child to live with me, and then I can make the decisions how I want. Yo-Yo disagrees with me.
I disagree.
What do you think?
Just with those pictures, I purposely put a bunch of pictures of Kanye and his kids. You see, he is a really great father. He's always been in the child's life, all his children's lives. And even in the past, when it comes to TikTok, there was multiple situations where like North would have a little girlfriend, like a homegirl of her age, like come over and like she would be a little TikTok star, and she had North in the background of her TikTok, and they went through hell and fire to get that taken down. They were like, don't post my daughter, and especially Kim that was doing that. So like now to have her wearing goth makeup, doing this emo girl thing, talking about they're talking about stuff that kids should not be singing,
What?
and this. I didn't interrupt you.
Sure.
And these are things that are currently happening after, the fact that Kanye was like, please just don't do that, because Kim had that same reserve with North being on TikTok. Now, with everything going on with Pete Davidson, and his friend posting those text messages saying that I'm in bed with your wife, and you have this emo guy, and now all of a sudden, after this guy comes into the house, this weirdo is around all my kids. Kanye has the right to feel this type of way. And it's already like out there in the law that like once you separate, the judge always gives more, it's always more towards the mom than the dad.
Not.
Usually it is.
It's towards whoever has the child.
No, usually it is.
No,
Jonathan. And even Kanye
Jonathan,
said it too.
Jonathan,
and I see it with my own family members.
You're
I see it with my own family members.
You're absolutely wrong in the sense that the judge will allow whichever parent has the child at the moment. And it's in the best interest of the child who the child should be with. If Kanye feels that it's not in the best, if Kanye feels it's not in the exact opposite. If Kanye feels it's not in the best interest for this child to be with Kim.
No, that's not the fight though. That's not the fight.
Is the fight because he's saying
they're not saying that the kids are not they're not supposed to be with the mother. That he's not saying that.
No, what he's saying is that she's being a bad mother by allowing this TikTok.
He didn't say a bad mother. He just said that I don't like this for my daughter, and he has the right to feel that way. He has the right to feel that way.
But he's now made it a bigger deal.
Regardless of the fact, he has the right to feel that way.
He should go back to court. He should have his lawyers deal with it. It should be done privately. And Kim has every right to do whatever she wants to do with her daughter and mother her daughter any way she wants, because that's when the daughter is with her. When the daughter's with Kanye, then Kanye has the right to do what he wants. That's how it works.
I don't agree.
Well, we will agree to disagree.
Yes, we will on this one.
All right, on this one we will agree to disagree. All right, in this edition of TikTok Time, I answer questions about traveling on an F1, marriage, DACA, and a criminal case and more. Let's watch. Of course, you can travel on a student visa as long as you're fully matriculated in a university, which is at least 12 credits per semester, and you are attending that university. Enjoy your travels, enjoy your schooling. Well, I'm not a relationship counselor, but I would suggest that you make your future spouse feel loved and that you're marrying him for him and not because you're tired of Uganda and want to get out. Just my thoughts. If you have a pending criminal case, they will not renew your DACA. You have to resolve the pending criminal case. Hopefully you're not found guilty of a significant misdemeanor or a felony. Hopefully the case is resolved in your favor. And then at that point, you can refile for your DACA. Good luck. If your dad has had his interview at the U.S. Embassy more than 2 years ago or even more than a year ago and still is waiting, there's a problem with your dad's case and someone needs to contact the embassy. If you marry your partner before you get your green card and your father is only a lawful permanent resident, that would be the end of the case. The day you get your lawful residence, the next day, you can get married to your partner. Good luck. All right, we're going to go to meat and potatoes right now. Let's do it, Ian. Juan.
Yes, yes.
Sir.
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. What's going on? How can I help you?
Yes, man. So I was brought to the U.S. in '96.
Right.
Never knew status mattered here.
When you said you said you were brought to the U.S., how old were you?
I was like 5'6".
Are you on a farm right now, Juan?
Yes.
No, he's in the farmhouse. He's in the barn. Juan,
I'm working on the house over here, remodeling it.
Okay, can you just
get off speaker? They have cattle over here.
And cattle. Can you just get off speaker and just talk like this on?
All right, man.
So you were brought when you were 5 or 6 from where?
So I was brought on '96. I was born in '89, and was got married in 2014 with a resident, and I want to apply for a green card.
Great.
And my question to you is that I got a first DUI misdemeanor, and I was thinking of expunging it, but I wanted to ask you what is the best way to have this clear up so I won't have no problem.
Let me ask you a first question. How did you come to the United States? Do you have any record of how you came to the U.S.?
No, sir. All I know is somebody just...
Where are you originally from?
Aguascalientes, Mexico.
Okay. So we would presume that somebody... Is your memory just someone brought you across the border?
Yeah, that's what I assumed. Somebody crossed me over.
Okay. All right. And you're married. Is your wife still a resident? She's a citizen now.
Yes, she is a resident at the moment.
Okay. Is anyone in your family in the military?
No.
Has anyone ever applied for a green card for you before?
No.
Has anyone applied for a green card for your mother or father before that you're aware of?
No.
No. Okay. So basically, it doesn't appear that you are eligible to adjust your status in the United States because you entered without inspection. Your wife has to file your wife needs to file an I-130 visa petition for you immediately. That starts the process. Right. Start that process. Once the I-130 is approved, you're going to file a provisional waiver because you have to go back to Mexico to pick up your green card. Now, before you
is that a must?
It's a must. And before you say to me, how old are you now?
32.
Okay. Did you ever get DACA?
No, for the same reason that I had this charge in 2009.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So, if you can get the charge vacated, not expunged, vacated, I'll give you two choices. Okay. Choice one is go to a California criminal defense attorney. Where did this happen? In California or in Washington?
I was born. I was raised.
Where's the conviction?
California.
Okay.
California.
All right. So find a California criminal defense attorney, and ask the California criminal defense attorney if they can vacate the DUI conviction. If you can vacate the DUI conviction, that's different than expungement. Vacate means it never happened. If you can vacate it, then you can apply for DACA. From DACA, you can apply for advanced parole to go travel out of the country and return safely. Now you've made a legal entry into the United States of America. Presumably, we can make, at some point, your wife a U.S. citizen, and you can adjust your status. That's option one, and get your green card here. Option two is your wife files an I-130 visa petition for you right now as a permanent resident. You get it approved. The law says at the present time you got to go back to Mexico to pick up your green card. Now, if you go back to Mexico and you lived in the United States unlawfully for more than a year, you have a 10-year bar. So you need to get a waiver for that. A waiver means
a waiver.
A waiver means forgiveness, that the government will forgive you for living here undocumented. I am sure you will get a waiver for that since you've been here since you were 5, and
I also been filing taxes since 2007.
Okay, but I mean the waiver's based on hardship to your wife, but they look at how long you've been here and all of that stuff too. And I assume that you would get your waiver approved. Now that you have your waiver approved, you can go back to Mexico to pick up your green card. The DUI is not a reason to deny your green card. The only reason you have to deny your green card in Mexico is because you lived here unlawfully, and if you get the waiver for that, you'd be home for 2 to 3 weeks and return with a green card.
Okay.
So those are your options.
If I wanted to vacate, in case I do need to vacate this case, what is like the main factor of the case to like? What is it that convinces the criminal judge to say, okay, yeah, let's do that?
One of two things. Judge can do whatever they want out of sympathy for you.
Okay.
So your criminal defense attorney can say, hey, this is really not the result that the California penal code wanted to have. to bar this man from getting DACA for this one DUI that he had a very long time ago. Let's see if we can change this conviction to a different section of law that doesn't prevent him from getting DACA. That's one way to go about it, and just play the sympathy card. And judges and prosecutors can do whatever they want. The other thing you can do is argue, I didn't know when I was pleading guilty that I would not be able to get DACA. Nobody told me. But that is not also a legal doctrine that the judge has to follow, but it's something to consider.
Okay, so my wife could file the I-130 right now, right, for me in the waiver.
They should do it right now, correct?
All right, man. I appreciate it for your support.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Hang in there. Hold on. All right, let's go to Alex in Dallas. Alex.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So I applied for K1 visa for my fiance on April 2021, and it's processing in California Center. And I asked for case inquiry like twice, and my congressman asked it once, and they still did not review my case, and they keep changing the date. So
asking your congressman and doing an inquiry doesn't do anything. The first thing you should do is request an expedite, come up with the status.
I tried.
Humanitarian. Okay, if that hasn't worked and it's more than a year, then you threaten to sue the government on a mandamus.
Okay. So it's that my next option is just suing the USA. Okay, so if that's the case, like how long will it take for USA to act on my case if I sue them?
I don't know. Every case is different. Sometimes we threaten to sue the government just with a threat. We put together a litigation. We say, by the way, we're going to file this in court in a week or two unless you want to do something. And we get a call within a couple of weeks, and they say, okay, we'll get it approved or we'll schedule for an interview. Sometimes they ignore you. Then you have to go to court. You go to court, it's a couple months before a judge, but at least, things are going to happen. Sometimes you just file suit. You get a call from the U.S. attorney. Hey, if you promise to dismiss this case, I promise you to do X, Y, Z. So every case is different. But when you file a mandamus, or threaten a mandamus, people take it seriously. So things happen.
Okay. All right. So my fiance tried for digital visa before and she got rejected. So do you think that's going to affect when we sue the USA?
No, because unless she committed fraud, it would not affect it. Because when you apply for a visitor's visa, most of the times you get denied is for non-immigrant intent. I mean, immigrant intent, meaning you don't have a non-immigrant intent. You intend to live in America. If you come on a K1 visa, of course I'm coming to live in America. That's the purpose of the K1. I want to come over, marry my fiance, and get a green card. So it's a non-issue.
Okay, that sounds good. So my next option is through the USA.
Or threaten. I'd start with a threat. Hold on. Let's go to Sharuti in Tampa. Sharuti.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. My English is not really good, but right now, me and my family here since 2016, and right now we apply for asylum, and I'm working on a gas station, and somebody hit the lady, and she is blind, and I called the cops, and police arrest to him. So can we apply for U visa?
Unfortunately, no. Because in order to apply for a U visa, you have to be the victim of a crime. You are the witness to a crime, not a victim of the crime. You weren't injured.
Oh, okay.
All right? So keep looking. I don't know what your asylum case is, but if you want me to review it, hold on one second, okay?
Okay.
Let's go to Kenza in Brooklyn. Kenza.
Yes, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? So I am an international student. I used to have an F1 student visa from Morocco. Basically, on my passport, my visa is expiring on February 2021. But I know that I can still apply for 4 years college.
Right.
To just keep an active I-20. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, which is the 2020, I missed my grace date to apply to a 4-year college after an OPT. And since then, I wasn't able to pursue my studies for a bachelor degree because I missed the dates, knowing that I was going through personal issues and I can prove that.
All right, so this is the answer, okay? You have an opportunity still to reinstate your status. It's one of the only visas that they allow you to make the application to reinstate your status is a student visa. So if you've fallen out of status, it's not your fault. You have a very good excuse. You have sympathetic factors that you can't return back to Morocco to pick up a new visa to come back, and you have a good affidavit of support and a new I-20 from a new school. You ask the government, based on sympathetic factors, that it's not your fault that you fell out of status, that it's everything else that was going on around you, and have a little sympathy for me, and you can request that they reinstate your student status.
Sure. So how can I do that? Do I have to hire an immigration lawyer?
You absolutely have to hire an attorney because you didn't even know it existed. So how would you know how to do it? So hold on one second.
Sure, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, but what?
Hello?
Yeah, you was going to say, yeah, but what?
Yeah, so that's pretty much my issue. I couldn't find an attorney who can help me because I reached out for help before my visa was expired and I couldn't do it.
Well,
I couldn't find the right person.
Your luck has changed. Hold on one second.
Okay.
All right. Kim in the Bronx. Kim. Kim in the Bronx. Going once.
Hi, good morning.
How
good
are you,
afternoon. I'm good, thank you. So I have a removal status from 2015, and how do I go about getting that off my record, and is it a good idea to apply for a tax ID?
It doesn't hurt to apply for a tax ID. That's number one. You have a removal order, so you've been ordered removed. You're still in the United States. You have to I don't know why you were ordered removed. All right, number one, did you ever have a green card?
No.
Why were you ordered removed?
My mom is a United...
Why were you ordered removed is my question.
Because I don't, my mom filed for me. She adopted me. She's my birth sister by blood, but she adopted me, and they deny it. So I was in the United States present when she filed for me, and they deny it.
How old are you?
27 now and married.
Okay. How did you come to the U.S.?
When I was 14, by plane, and
on a visa.
By a visa.
Okay. And you don't have a criminal record, right?
No.
Okay, so this is the process. We have to file a visa petition with the Immigration Service, prove that you and your husband are in a bona fide marriage, because the presumption is you got married to avoid deportation. Get that visa petition approved, make a motion to reopen your case, and you have a right to reopen your case for prosecutorial discretion on a minimum, because you're married to a U.S. citizen, and you may have a right to reopen your case for other reasons as well.
My husband is a green card holder.
Well, then we got to make him a citizen.
He have a record, so he can't be a citizen for the next 5 years.
Well, I don't know about that. He needs to speak to us. And then I have to review your immigration records to see what we're going to do to argue to reopen your case. When you go to reopen your case, you got to prove you're eligible to adjust your status immediately, or you got to prove that your rights were violated, one or the other. So then I would have to now at this point review your case, and I don't take it on as a 100% hashtag true fact that your husband has to wait 5 years. Let me be the judge of that. Hold on. Let's go to Gabby in Denver. Gabby.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. I have two questions. My first question is, I got denied my green card application that I filed 2 years ago for Waiver. And instead of I got denied my EED application, they sent me 180 days extension later. Can I still continue working with that or not?
I mean, you're not legally working, but, you know.
No.
But if the employer doesn't ask questions, then continue working.
Because
I mean,
my actual ID.
In other words, that's not a valid document to work anymore, if that's your question. It's not.
Yes.
Because your case is denied. But it's up to your employer. It's your employer's obligation to figure out if your documentation is valid or not to work, or if you're legally allowed to work.
But it's not going to be a problem on my case? Like in the future, if I continue to...
Your case is over.
Yes.
If in the future you want to get a green card some other way, let's say, for example, you remarry to somebody
No,
else.
I just try to file for removal of cancellation of waiver.
Okay, so if you're in removal, you working undocumented, it's not going to prevent you from getting a green card. If you're in removal.
Okay, my second question. I have a friend. He also want to work with you, and he want to know. He's been in sex offender case in 25 years ago, like maybe more than that, and he was in withhold removal in 12 years, and he tried to file his green card through his daughter. His daughter turned 21 in September. Can he or not?
I have no idea. I have to see what his criminal records look like. He sounds like an aggravated felon, and he's been ordered deported.
Yes.
So I don't know. I would have to see what his criminal records look like. Hold on one second.
So can we work with you or not?
Yeah, of course. Hold on one second. All right. Hold on one second means yes. Hold on. You can work with you if that's what you choose. Claudette in Long Island. Claudette.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. How about you, sir?
Hey, it's me on phone too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Brad. This is Claudette.
Yes.
And I wanted to ask you, my husband is online as well. We got married in 2019, and we applied for, I'm a U.S. citizen, we applied for his green card permanent application. We got married in 2019 June, and we applied in August. We got our first interview in February 2020, and then we both have been for an interview, and according to us, it was all good. Whatever they asked, we all answered them. And the lady gave us a paper. She said that the file is going under review. And she said, if we need anything, we will let you know. And after that, COVID hit, and we didn't hear anything back from them. And we were waiting and waiting. So we called immigration a few times, and they never changed our status to our after the interview. It was always saying that on immigration website, it say interview scheduled, and they never changed it that the interview taken or case under review. They never changed it. So we were calling, and January 2022, we connect with someone in USCIS, and they told us that you will hear something soon. So last week we got an email, and the email said that your interview has been canceled, and you will receive a notice, and that notice will explain you more. There are three options which was mentioned in the letter. Is that first one, either we will let you know if we're rescheduling your interview, or if the decision is made, or if we need any other document. And then yesterday we got another email that your application is in pool and it's ready to schedule an interview. And the subject on that email was say testing and interview. So I don't understand the meaning testing and interview. I think testing we go when we go for citizenship. So I don't understand what it is mean. And if you can,
you're gonna get a second interview.
And,
And at that interview, it's going to be a Stokes interview. They don't believe you're in a real marriage with your spouse. And they're going to separate you into two different rooms and ask you 300 questions. And you're not going to hear your spouse's answers, and he's not going to hear your answers. And they got to match. And I would tell you that people in a bona fide marriage living together screw this up all the time unless they start thinking about it ahead of time. My guess is that within the next 120 days, you will get this interview. You should have a lawyer prepare you for this interview. If you don't get this interview within the next 120 days, then we should be filing a mandamus or a threat of a mandamus to schedule this interview, so that way you can finish up this case. The only good news in all of this is because your husband's been waiting for so long. When this is all over, he's going to have a 10-year card. He won't get a 2-year card and then have to remove the conditions.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, we are pretty much we are together, and we still doing everything together. So so at this point, because at first time I think we didn't hire anybody, we did everything at our own.
So hold on 1 second, and if you want my help, I can help you. All right. So hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Sam in Morrisville, North Carolina. Sam.
Hello, Brad. I'm good. Actually, my question is, so my Wawa case was approved in 21 December. So my asylum case was in immigration court. I am in the removal proceeding. But my attorney did February 2022 did the motion to terminate my removal proceeding. So my court hearing date, next master hearing date is 2024 August.
Okay, what's your question?
So my question is, so how long it take time the judge sent the letter to the motion to terminate my removal proceeding?
Well, it sounds like you have a court hearing in 2024. I don't know that the judge is going to terminate it, and I don't know when the judge is going to terminate it. Your lawyer made that motion. The judge has no time limit in which to decide. Depends on how big his docket is or her docket is.
Oh, I have to still wait for the 2024 for the hearing?
You may, or the judge may make a decision beforehand. But you're asking me, when will the judge make a decision on your motion? I don't have the slightest idea. And there is no time limit for the judge to do it.
Oh, okay.
Right, hang in there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's go to Hassan in the Bronx.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, Mr. Bright. So I have a question. I have responded to a notice of intent to deny based on my divorce degree, have a 2 stamps, and then why my ex-wife is still using my last name. And then up till now, I haven't heard anything from USCIS after we give them the response. It's about 14 months now.
You responded to a notice of intent to deny 14 months ago? And have not
Yes,
had a
14
decision?
months now.
And have not
No
had a
decision yet. No.
All right. What I think you should do is bring me in that notice of intent to deny. Let me see what they asked for. Let me see how you responded to it. And if I think you have a winning case, I would threaten a mandamus at this point.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
All right. It's the same thing over and over. With everybody, everything's delayed with immigration. Everything. Bob in Ben Salem, Pennsylvania.
Hi, Uncle Brad. Good
Hi, how are
evening.
you?
I'm fine. So, Uncle Brad, I would like to know, I have some 4 quick questions. One is, I would like to know what advantage does U.S. citizen filing for minor stepchildren have over a conditional green card holder?
A U.S. citizen filing for stepchildren, they could adjust their status immediately if they're under 21. A green card holder, they can't adjust their status unless they're still in legal status.
Oh, okay. So my next question is, do I have to file for a separate I-130 for each of them?
Are you the stepfather?
Yes.
Yeah, you have to file a separate I-130 for each of them.
Oh, okay.
And a separate adjustment for them if they're in the U.S.
Oh, okay. So what document do I have to include in doing that?
Your marriage certificate and their birth certificates to prove that the mother is their mother. And if you were either previously divorced, you need your divorce decrees as well. Did the mother get her green card?
Yes, a conditional green card.
Okay, yeah, so and a copy of the mother's conditional green card.
Oh, okay. Finally, how long does it take for the visa to be issued?
Are they in the U.S.?
No, they are back home in Africa.
Okay, about a year and a half then. Just an I-130
okay,
you're going to file for each of them. It'll still be faster than the mother filing the I-130.
Oh, okay. The mother. Oh, okay.
It'll still be faster for you to do it.
Oh, okay. The mother doing it.
No, you do it. It's still faster.
Oh, okay. I'm glad. Last one. So, what is the total cost, if I may know?
If you say no?
No, I mean the total cost for the I-130.
It's $535 per child.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Uncle Brad.
Thank you.
God bless you for what you're doing for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Ian in Portland. Ian.
Hi, Brad. This is Ian. So I just got divorced 5 months ago after filing the I-751.
Yes.
And I'm wondering what I should do next.
Let immigration know that you are divorced. Ask them to convert your case to a waiver of the joint application to file the I-751 based on a bona fide marriage that terminated in divorce. Hopefully you presented enough evidence that you are in a real marriage.
Yes, I did. And is it something that I can do without a lawyer?
You can do anything without a lawyer, but honestly, you know, this is your life on the line here, literally, in America. If you can afford a lawyer, hire one.
Oh, okay. And I got a case vacated. It was a misdemeanor.
Right.
So when I'm filing or when I'm providing the divorce certificate and
you can also provide the vacator as well, a copy of the vacator to show that the conviction doesn't apply anymore.
Okay. And my last question, it's just about the change of address. Right now, I haven't been fully divorced in terms of the case is in court. But now I've already moved from the house, so I'm not in the same address.
Do an AR-11 to change your address. Go online, change your address, and when you're fully divorced, then you convert the case.
Yes. So my question is, my sister-in-law is supposed to come, and we've planned this for a long time, and she has a visitor's visa. So I'm wondering, when she gets to the immigration department, should I wait until she comes? She's supposed to come next week. Should I wait until she comes so that I can retain the same address, or should I tell her to talk about the new address that I will change to?
Where she's coming to visit you?
What is that?
Wait, who is coming to visit you? I don't understand what that has to do with an address.
No, my sister-in-law, when you're passing through the immigration in the airports, you're asked where are you going to live.
Wherever she's going to live, that's where it is. You don't worry about your change of address. Don't worry about that. It has no.
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. It doesn't have to do anything with me.
No.
Oh, good. Thanks a lot, bro.
Okay.
No, not too bad.
Let's go to Kelvin in Dallas.
Hey, hello, Brad. Good evening. Good. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Yeah, Brad, I got a case. The first last year, I did my marriage green card interview. Until now, I've not heard from them. But generally, I got my EAD card.
Say that again.
Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, Brad? Hello, Brad? Hello, Brad? Oh. Hello, Brad? Hello, Brad, I can hear you.
And of course, there's no batteries here. Why would there be?
Okay, so
why would there be batteries
you're
that
right.
work here? Let's see.
Let's see. He's changing his battery for you, Kelvin.
Okay, let's see. Yeah,
hello, Brad, I'm here.
Okay, this battery is going to die too. Jill, I need new batteries, but in the meantime, Kelvin, yes. So you applied for your work permit.
I got my work permit January.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've not heard from them since I did the marriage. But it indicated that marriage was completed, interview completed.
I don't understand your question. What is the question?
Okay, let me say it again. I said since October 21st last year, 2021, I did my marriage green card interview.
Right.
So ever since then, I have not heard from them. Then January this year, I got my EAD work authorization.
Okay. All right, so your case has now been pending a year since your interview.
No, it was October I did it. It's going to 6 months now.
All right, so there's nothing you can do. Just wait a year.
Okay.
If 1 year has passed and you still don't have an answer from immigration, call me.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing to do at this point but wait.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
hang in there.
All right. Thank you very much.
Let's go to Samantha in Queens. Hi, Samantha.
Hi, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Yes, I'm asking you about the public charge.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, is the public charge still in effect?
There is a public charge in effect. It is different than under Trump. You just have to prove that you can support your relative 125% above the poverty level. Certain government assistance does not come into play anymore, such as Section 8 or getting food stamps.
Okay, and they want a bank account, right?
If it depends on what's on your tax return.
Okay.
All right?
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Let's go to Abigail in Queens. Abigail.
Hello. Hi, Brad.
Hi.
Good night.
Hi, Abigail. How are you?
So I'm doing great. So my question to you is, I filed petition for my husband, I-130, I-485.
Right.
Filed all documentations. I also adjusted his status, and I filed for his kids. His kids are not in the country. I did I-130 for them also.
Understand.
All right. So I submitted all the money order fees, and when I check with MoneyGram, all the money orders were cashed. However, I got the biometrics. He went and he did his biometrics and all that. They returned the I-130 to us, saying that the signature was missing for me.
Okay.
I signed it and I sent it back to them.
Okay.
And they sent it back to me again to say that the fees are outstanding. But they got all the money order and they cashed all of them. And the reason why he was able to do the biometrics.
So then go.
So I sent it back to them with all the copies.
No,
Go ahead.
Sending a copy of the money order is not enough. You have to trace the
Yeah,
money order and show it was cashed.
I did that too.
Okay, so then they should accept it.
Yeah, I did that too. That's what I'm saying. I sent it back to them to say that, hey, we did send all the receipts.
So then you did the right thing.
And they sent it back to us again.
So then
say that it
come
was
see
missing.
me. I don't know what you're doing. So let me look at what you're doing. But it sounds like you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I sent them all the copies of the money orders that were
Abigail,
cashed.
It sounds like you're doing the right thing, but if they keep sending it back, bring it in to me. Let me see what you're doing. Maybe you're not doing the right thing. I don't know. Maybe you're filing the wrong filing fees. I don't know. Hold on.
Okay.
It could be the wrong filing fees. Hold on.
Sure, no problem.
All right. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions asked and answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. Since I live in the United States of America, my Instagram will continue to work. You could drop me a DM. I will be happy to answer your immigration questions as best as I can. You could also follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. You follow us at Brad Show Live. You can't handle 2 hours of us, but you can handle 30 seconds of us. Best place to follow us is Brad Show Live on Instagram. And of course, you can follow our fastest growing social media platform, TikTok. And if you are lucky enough, you can get an answer to a question that you leave in the comment section by me, a personalized video directed to you, giving you your answer for the entire world to see.
And you guys can follow me at Yonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And later in the show, Yonathan is going to be speaking with Kristy Guevara-Flanagan and Maite Zubiaurre, co-directors, writers, and producers of the award-winning short film Águilas, which means eagles, which follows a group of volunteers who search for missing migrants near the U.S. southern border.
And now, in honor of National Equal Pay Day, in this VIP outtake, Brad speaks with Colombian-American professional soccer player and sports broadcaster Melissa Ortiz about the pay-wage gap that exists not only in soccer, but many industries. Now, in February 2022, the U.S. women's national soccer team settled a $24 million lawsuit to make their pay equal to their male counterparts. Now, this is amazing, of course, but we know that there's still more work to do. So Melissa and Brad really break down the pay discrepancy in this video. So you guys are all going to want to watch it.
Soccer player is very different than a male soccer player, because obviously we don't get paid as much as the men do. So some of my normal days, for instance, my first experience playing professional soccer was in Iceland.
Mm-hmm.
So in Iceland, in the morning, I would wake up, I don't know, around 6:30, 7, and I would go coach an Icelandic girls youth team, their summer camps.
Just to make some money. I looked up the pay discrepancy between men and women in professional sports. Cristiano Ronaldo plays for Real Madrid. He's the Portuguese professional footballer. He also is on the Portugal national team. He made over $79 million in earnings last year, whereas the highest female player, Alex Morgan, she's the American two-time Olympic gold medalist, FIFA World Women's Cup champion, forward for the Orlando Pride, and she also plays on the national women's United States soccer team. She is only making $650,000 a year. If you can just give me your comments and thoughts about the enormous pay discrepancy between the two.
In the U.S., the women's national team, as many have heard, have been fighting for equal rights, which they should, because they're the ones who have qualified and qualify consistently to World Cups.
And have won World Cups.
Have won World Cups,
correct.
Exactly, and gold medals. Where the men's team in the U.S., they just recently did not qualify for this upcoming Russia World Cup. And they're the ones, filling the stadiums, also selling jerseys, and they should be getting paid equally. Whereas in comparison to us in Colombia, on the Colombian national team, we're not fighting for equal pay. We're fighting for pay. Period. To actually earn a penny or something for the time that we put in and the hard work and risk of our body and everything that we put in. We're fighting for pay, but it has to come from us within, and obviously, like, fighting for any type of rights and everything, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear to speak out, because there's fear of losing your place on the team or getting X from the team. So it's just an ongoing issue that we also see here in the USA with women. It's challenging, and I'm always open to tell everyone how much I made, because it's not like, it's not going to a doctor or dentist, hey, what was your annual income this year? I say it because there needs to be change. There was a summer league in Iceland, a professional league, which it was my first pro league. I was making around $1,500 a month. And then I had to work extra during the soccer camps. I played here in the USA as well, in the pro league here, $2,000 a month. I'd have to work extra as well. So it's these kind of circumstances that, us as female athletes have to go through, plus train all day, plus, prepare your meals so that you're not eating out and spending more money, and then plus working on top of it. So it's an ongoing, issue, and something that we have to fight for.
I mean, the amount of time and effort and energy you put in to bringing joy to many people, not only from Colombia, around the world, watching you play soccer, and risking injury, and to be making what is basically minimum wage. Basically, that's what it is, to be making minimum wage. Yeah. And at the same time, watching other professionals who may not have even had as great success as you making more just because they're men. Hello. Social media check-in. Let's do it.
Melina Stanio, a Facebook VIP member. My 2-year green card will be expiring in December, and I want to travel for Christmas. I know the renewal takes a long time. Is there any other form I could submit along with the renewal forms that will allow me to travel?
You'll be able to travel, file 90 days before the expiration of your 2-year green card. You'll get an extension notice before Christmas.
Liana Brown, a Facebook VIP member. My husband is adjusting my status here, but has our kids back home. When we send in the I-130 forms, do we need the affidavit of support for the kids? Or can we wait until it goes to NVC in Jamaica?
Wait until it goes to the NVC.
Okay. Elementine Franha on YouTube. Can a U.S. citizen apply for both parents and siblings under 21 if one parent is deceased?
No, you can file for your U.S. citizen parent. You can separately file for your siblings, but they'll take 15 years.
Mohammed on YouTube, how can I get any public benefits on the basis of prima facie determination letter in VAWA?
You're allowed all federal government benefits on the prima facie. Go apply for it.
Janet Chambers Duff on Facebook. My friend was denied because of a criminal record. She's 23 years old. She was working and her boss got her locked up for theft. Her mother filed for her and her 2 kids. They all were denied. Is there anything that can be done?
I don't know what the theft was. Maybe a waiver.
Clementine Franha on YouTube. This September will be 3 years since I have a green card from marrying a U.S. citizen. Can I apply for a citizenship 3 months prior to that? How long is this process?
As long as you're in a bona fide marriage with your spouse, the answer is yes. And I say this all the time. The rules in the Immigration Nationality Act and the regulations say bona fide marriage. You live together, you have a financial relationship. So as long as you're living together and have a financial relationship for these past 3 years, the answer is yes.
And can she travel at this time?
Yes.
Jacob on YouTube. My green card application got canceled, but I have my 180 extension letter. Can I work with that?
We answered that.
Okay.
Not legally, but if you're working, go for it.
Latoya McKenzie on YouTube. I've been a green card holder for a year now. I just got married to my kid's dad. He's here on a visitor's visa, visiting visa. Is it best for him to go back to Jamaica or to stay here for me to file for him? What's the time
If you're
span?
a U.S. citizen, file his adjustment here. It's about a year. It's a lot faster than going home.
Tosin on YouTube filed a VAWA and I-485 September 2020. Got 3 prima facies already, but haven't gotten the work permit. My previous work permit is expired. I filed to expedite, but got denied. Should I be worried, and what else can I do?
There's nothing more you can do. Just wait out the work permit. Don't be worried.
Maki G on YouTube. I'm on asylum pending for 5 years waiting for an interview. I requested expedite, but no luck yet. So can I apply for a travel document to a third country so I can see my kids?
Yes.
Sharona, I have a pending VAWA case. I received a work permit, but they had asked for additional evidence, but they didn't send a return address. Is this normal?
They asked for additional evidence. It should be on the letter that they asked the RV where to return it.
And last one, Anova on Facebook. I'm married to a green card holder who's out of status in the U.S. and is currently filing. I understand that usually it has a wait time and that we cannot process in the United States, but in the home country. But what is that would happen currently if he tries to petition now?
What?
Yeah.
So basically, someone's married to a resident. They're out of status. The answer is you can't adjust your status here. It would be denied. He or she needs a provisional waiver to go home and come back.
And what's the wait time?
I don't know where they are in their case. It takes about a year and a half for the I-130, another year to a year and a half for the provisional waiver, visa processing. Married to a resident, you're looking probably close to 2.5, 3 years.
All right.
All right. Yonathan recently spoke with Kristy Guevara-Flanagan and Maite Zubiaurre, co-directors, writers, and producers of the award-winning short film Águilas, which means eagles in English, and follows a volunteer organization helping families locate their loved ones who have migrated to the U.S.-Mexico border and gone missing. Let's watch.
Hey, Brad Squad. Yonathan Elias here with Kristy Guevara-Flanagan and Maite Zubiaurre, co-directors, writers, and producers of the award-winning short film Águilas. Now, Águilas, or Eagles, is a short film about Águilas del Desierto, or the desert eagles. Once a month, this group of volunteers brave the unforgiving heat of the Arizona desert to recover migrants who have been reported missing by their loved ones. This poignant film brings a humanizing voice to the conversation about migration at our southern border and shines a light on the harrowing journey undertaken by people who are simply searching for a better life. Águilas, which was released in 2021, has won several awards, including Best Mini Doc at the Big Sky Documentary Film Festival and the South by Southwest Documentary Short Jury Award. The film has been published online at pbs.org and on the New Yorker YouTube page. Kristy and Maite, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
First, before we get into this interview, let's take a look at the film's trailer.
Por favor, pide su ayuda para localizar al joven nicaragüense Fabricio Antonio Valle. Se perdió en el desierto de Arizona.
Águilas del desierto, ayúdennos a buscar a Samuel Alexander. Perdió la vida en el desierto de Guatemala. Por favor, ayúdennos a seguir adelante. Les rogamos que nos
Aquí está una vértebra y un hueso. En estas tierras tan hostiles, tan traicioneras, cada osamenta tiene una historia.
So tell me about yourselves and your roles in the movie.
Well, I'm a documentary filmmaker. I've made several films. I teach documentary at UCLA, and that's where Maite and I met.
And I'm a professor in the humanities working on migration and what we like to call forensic empathy, which is the study of the ecology of migrant care happening at the US-Mexico border, but in particular at the Arizona desert.
So what is Águilas del Desierto, which is the Eagles of the Desert, correct?
If I may speak to that, because at this point I'm also volunteering with them for quite some time now. It's a search and rescue group founded by two migrants from the state of Oaxaca who had the tragedy of finding two relatives dead in the desert, Don Eli and Doña Marisela Ortiz. Don Eli found the body of his brother and his cousin in the desert. And once this tragedy happened to them, they decided to devote their lives to help families find closure in Mexico, increasingly so in Central America and also in the United States. And since 10 years ago, they go out into the desert at least once a month for a search and rescue mission that lasts the whole weekend and look for the remains of migrants and attend to the pleas of families.
So how can families get in touch with the organization?
They have a website, aguilasdeldesierto.org. They're very active on social media. They're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok now, and they're very much connecting with communities through social media. And I think that's part of what has made people really find them, so that they get a lot of calls from people when they're looking for lost ones that have crossed and have disappeared.
People in Central America know them, in Mexico, all along the southern border. I just did a trip visiting shelters at the southern border of Mexico with Guatemala. And the shelters know Águilas del Desierto full well, and they actually share the information with the migrants that stay at their shelters before they continue their trip up to the north.
About how many requests do you receive a month?
It depends, but very often it's 10, 20, 30 calls per day. And some of these calls, as we said, come from Central America, from very different time zones. And Don Eli and Doña Marisela never turn off their phones. It is 3 a.m. in the morning and they're attending to calls.
Who are the people that are in this organization?
One thing that's very lovely about Águilas del Desierto is they're very welcoming of volunteers. So even people that are not officially in the organization, if you reach out, you can go on these searches with them, and they go on them every month. But they're made of mostly migrants, a lot of them coming from Southern California, also now in Arizona, and I think they have Texas chapters now. So they're growing as they reach more people and as more people want to participate.
Construction workers, domestic workers, nannies, factory workers who mostly live in the San Diego area. And though they have very busy jobs and very physically demanding jobs, they do make the effort once or even twice a month to travel Friday at night for 7 hours from San Diego to the Arizona desert and start the search at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. So why do the members feel it's so important to do these missions?
They've been touched personally by migration, many of them having crossed in different ways, but likely through the desert as well. And the founders who have lost their family through migration. And just really, I think, wanting to help reunite families, give families closure for something that remains untalked about, generally unheard of in the media, not known what actually happened to people that disappeared. So they're really trying to add closure, give information, and find people.
Yeah, tragically, it appeals to everybody. There's no member of our national Latinx community that hasn't been touched by somebody who never made it, by somebody who was deported multiple times, for somebody who spent months and even years in detention centers. It's a huge issue that affects everybody.
Yeah. So what's the percentage of missing migrants that are ever found?
Since the 90s, close to 4,000 migrants have been recovered from the southern Arizona desert. Close to 2,500 have not been identified, if not more. And it is said, and our documentary mentions it, that out of each body found, there are other 5 that the desert will never give back.
Well, as your film shows, the desert is incredibly unforgiving and raw territory. And it's amazing anyone just makes it to the U.S. border. Is anyone ever found alive? Like, what's the possibilities?
So Águilas del Desierto not only finds many remains, too many, but also saves lives, and increasingly so. So they keep a monthly record of how many people they were able to rescue. And some of them they rescue directly, in the sense that they run into them, or we run into them during our search and rescue missions. But other times, they communicate with consulates immediately when they get a call from somebody lost in the desert. And also they communicate with 911 and with Border Patrol. And through this concerted effort, many migrants have been saved.
And tomorrow, Kristy and Maite will talk more about the making of Águilas, how they are using the film as a learning tool, and their next projects. All right, Yo-Yo, 10 questions, 50 seconds. Let's do it. Speed round. All right, you ready? Let's do it.
Can I marry a green card holder if I overstayed my visitor's visa?
Yes.
Can an undocumented person join the army?
No.
Can I travel out of the country with valid travel parole and I-485 pending?
Yes.
Can you travel on a 551 temporary green card passport stamp if you haven't received green card?
Yes.
I'm bipolar. Can I apply for disability benefit after VAWA?
Yes.
I completed 5-year bar. Do I still need a waiver to apply for re-entry into U.S.? Cousin married to a U.S. citizen for 7 years. Can he divorce her and marry his baby mother?
Yes.
Can my husband do a fiance visa instead of a spouse visa because it's faster?
Yes.
Can my mother-in-law come to my...
No.
Can my mother-in-law come to my wedding? I'm a U.S. citizen and her son is not.
I mean, you can try to get a visitor's visa, but I doubt they'll give it to her.
How long does it take for sibling sponsorship?
15 years. And I even went back and
fixed
the question.
As long as you went back,
as long as I went back and I fixed it,
we're
okay.
That was it.
We did it. I'm like, I was just focused.
Yeah, let's do it.
I was just looking, yes, no.
That's good. That's all we need.
All right. All perfect.
There we go.
All right, comments of the day. Very good, Yonathan. Excellent job. All right, comments of the day. What do we got?
Ooh, comments of the day. I like this first one.
Okay.
Anushandra saying, I'm the first one in class. Danny boy is late today. Ooh, calling you out,
wow,
Danny boy.
Wow.
I like that. All right, our second comment of the day. Don Harriet saying, these reporters are like the soldiers fighting on the battlefields.
They really are.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, it's very dangerous. Yes. And our last comment of the day. Carol Anderson, the Tiger, saying, Brad, you explained this so all can understand. That's why it's so great to watch your show. It's so informative. A lot of news to take in. So everyone out there, listen well. You will learn something.
Thank you very much. We work very hard. The entire team works very hard on putting that news together. Even Yonathan, Jilly, everybody.
Yep.
Putting all the news together. So thank you very much for recognizing that, Carol. We will see you all tomorrow, Wednesday. It's hump day. We'll see what we're in store for. Have a great night. So, Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein law firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAW-LINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And visit us now at our Connecticut office, 221 Main Street, Suite 501, Hartford, Connecticut. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.